Good morning, everybody. Salam alaikum. Today is the last day of Ramadan. So here, it's my new office here. I think I made my last video uh, in my last office in phase 3. So the little bit of a frustration to me to leaving that area and leaving from my friends and my colleagues. But I'm working in the same plant, by the way. Uh, there is one very important review today I'm going to talk about the geopolitics, new trend of Russia and geopolitics and new trade route under the North Pole, right? Because if you talk about last 500 years of history, uh, up to last 200 years, the world controlled by the East. But after the British monarchy, the British ruled the world from 1796 so on. It has been diverted into Europe, right? You know all about the monarchies and the civilizations. Very recent history. After the Holy War in Istanbul of 1415, I think. After the Ottoman Empire has ruled over the Turkish Istanbul. Now, before it was Constantinople, the new trade routes has been disclosed to the European, right? So after the Industrial Revolution in 15th century, uh, you can say Spanish Empire and Portuguese Empire and the Danish Empire and also German Empire as well as French Empire. But at last, the British Empire, they try to rule the world and try to take the resource from Africa and East Asia and Asia Pacific region as well as from Australasia countries and especially in South countries in South Asia, right? So under the Spanish Empire, they ruled the world on South America and new lands, new hopes comes on the North American continent, and that's how the new world has born. But things has changed in the early 20th century and the end of the 19th century because of the Suez Canal has been opened by the I think it was around 1920s, around 1920s, 100 years before. The Suez Canal has been opened, and because of that reason, the new trade route opened through the Mediterranean Sea into the Arabian Sea, and after the Red Sea and the Arabian Peninsula, and there's a new trade route like before thousands of years, like a Silk Road. There's a shortcut. You can say it's a shortcut open to the Indian Ocean, right? And nowadays, this is all about the history of the world trade routes and how the world and the European countries has ruled over the rest of the world, rest of the parts of the world, and this part of the world in Middle East, especially the Middle East trade route towards to Asia, as well as this is the connecting part between Europe and the Asia, right? This is it's not a Central Asia, it's a Middle East. It's a Middle East region. This is Arabian Peninsula. So in this region, things are going to falling apart because why I'm saying you last February in 2022 February. Uh, there's something world has been shattered. Ukraine has the Ukrainian war has been started, and Russia was involving that, and USA and the NATO on the other hand, it is involving that. Indirectly, they supply the weapons and ammunitions and the training and each and everything, the infrastructures by the NATO through the NATO it supplies to the uh, to Ukraine. But as I mentioned you earlier videos, there are a number of videos I made about the Ukrainian war and the post-war and who will be winning the Ukrainian war. I have been predicted that, right? So I'm supporting, I'm a pro-Ukrainian and I'm always supporting the sovereignty and also loyalty to Ukrainian nation, and we pray for the Ukrainian people because under the Russian regime they are the dictatorships. So the dictatorship has never win in throughout the history in this world, right? So why after the sanctions of European Union by the European Union and by the Western sanctions, Russia has emerged with BRICS. BRICS in BRICS means Iran, India, and Indonesia, China, and also Russia, and as well as South Africa and Argentina. At last, it's Brazil. They imposed a new currency called yuan to attacking the dollar, and dollar domination is being shut off at these days, right? So I don't know how it will be gonna affecting to the world. I'm not a predictor into the future, but let us see what will happen in the future, right? So about this new trade route, Russia has because why it's important to Russia, because if in case of NATO has been choked the Suez Canal, there is from the Black Sea there is no way to them to enter to the Southeast Asia and South Asia. They have to find another way. But there is something very new has been found. That is Arctic Circle. Why it is important, so important to Arctic Circle to Russia? Because you know about the NORAD project. NATO has been imposed and established so many military bases under its alliances and in the Greenland and the Iceland. But nevertheless, in northern part of Russia, you know all about the world, 20% of the world, size of the world, geographically covered in Russia, and it has 17 crore or 18 crore population. It means 170 million of population it has at the moment. It is half of the size of the population in US, but it has very advanced speculation and advanced technology in terms of missiles and rocket and ammunitions and defense industry and a lot more, even biomedical. They have a lot of number of inventions they have found, and as a result of global warming and El Nino and O3 factor, ozone layer, the expanding of the ozone layer and destroying the ozone layer, it will be directly ultraviolet, high frequency, ultraviolet heated wave lights from the sun. It will be El Nino and global warming, and it's affecting to the world right now. So this is the reason the North Pole and the Arctic Pole, so many icebergs and glaciers will be finishing and will be melting in another 50 to 100 years of time. So then it will be an enormous and magnificent, big chance to Russia to digging the world and mining. People has, scientific and geologists has been predicted under the soil of international sea line of Russia. It means in the North Pole, we got uranium, you got a lot of natural resources, and twice the size of amount of the size of the oil which is ever consumed by the whole entire world so far. It is already available as a fossils, fossil oils. It means petrol and diesel in the North Pole. So Russia has a technology, Russia has a power. They are going to digging this one, and they will open a new trade route through the Scandinavia and come to Russia, right? So the basically at the moment The biggest problem to Russia, there is ice cutters, icebergs, icebreakers. They are the only country who has the 15 icebergs, ships in this world, in this world, right? So at the moment, Russia has that technology, and if you say, suppose from Singapore to UK, if they want to send some cargo ships, it will take 15 to 20 days. But within 8 days, if you use the new trade route from the North Pole, it can reach to Singapore from the North Pole and through the Alaska. But there's a one problem. How far it will be affecting to American economy, we don't know. But they have to cross the Alaskan border. If there is a war and if there is a conflict, military conflict in between Russia and USA, definitely US forces will be blockade and the choking the Alaskan border area. So it will be a huge effect to them. But rather than the American military bases, if you see the number of American military bases, which is having in the North Pole, Russia is winning always because they have a lot of high number of military bases. So this is a new trade route. Let us update next time about the new military strategies, and the Russia is going to win to establish and starting this trade route, right? So that's it for now in here episode. See you another time and have a great blessing all of you, and see you another night, another time. Goodbye and bye bye, and God bless to everybody. Adios. Bye bye.